Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to assure you here that the live stream will start very. Hello everybody, and welcome back to another video. Thank you very much for taking the time to join me today. It's very much appreciated here on this Friday evening, the 29th of May 2026. This video will be on my own personal YouTube channel. Another Classic Watch 26 possible, this time taking a look at a horse trained and based currently in France ahead of the French Derby this coming weekend. But before we get onto the Classic Watch stuff, I always like to mention my own personal Patreon channel in these YouTube videos, Newman Racing. The Patreon channel is called. I think personally that people watching this video might find it quite beneficial to them in some way. There's loads of stuff over there, especially the National Hunt Racing. The Patreon is pretty much the only place that you will find any National Hunt horses these days on the Patreon channel. There's also resources that I've uploaded onto Patreon over the years, you know, spreadsheets, things like that, pedigree notes, list of races from pattern races, you know, where I've just followed every race and just put a race link to it. Back in the day when I thought it'd be beneficial to hold my own race link library, really. That's what it is. You know, just the name of the race, the date, and the winner. So people can see the race quickly as possible. Also, there's the end of yearly reviews, that sort of thing as well, is also on the Patreon channel over at Newman Racing. Basically, that's where a lot of basically 3-year-old horses leave the process if they fall short. And they make way for upcoming 2-year-olds the next year to become the next classic batch of 3-year-olds. There's, like I said, it's a mishmash of content, really. Loads of interesting stuff over there. So why not head over to Newman Racing over at Patreon and see if it's for you. You never know, it might be. Right, so now I think we can move on to the Classic Watch stuff now. Classic Watch 2020, Classic Watch 26. .great/site.net is where people will be able to find this year's edition of the great site coming together very nicely now. You will see the site has 9 theatres available now with horses in UK, USA, UAE, France, Ireland, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, Japan, UK, the USA. There might even be a German horse running in the French Derby this week to get the German trained horses on there nice and early. But yeah, there's a roll of honour. It's coming along nicely. You'll see the more 2-year-old pattern winners and 3-year-old pattern winners really does grow every time I add horses to it now. Trial winners and previous 2-year-old winners from Europe really are becoming the core of the site now. Still the only one race of a 3-year-old plus group charge its win in the War of Athena handicap out in South Africa. But I should imagine as the season progresses, normally we get some ledger horses coming towards the end of the season. That is pretty much the time where you normally see horses that have won old age pattern races come into their own, or towards the end of the season at the end of year update as well. After the classics, some of the good ones do tend to go on and win races against all age group horses. But yeah, Classic Watch 26 .great/site.net is where people can find the great site. And at some point, there is a fair chance it might contain this horse here. Daryzan is the name of the horse, a colt sired by Zarak out of a dam called Daryzan, who herself was sired by Selkirk. Daryzan, trained by Francis Henri Graffard, and in the silks of the Aga Khan stud, who also bred the horse as well. The horse has done very little wrong, it's fair to say. The horse has only had one run in its career. That one run came on the 5th of May 2026 at Saint Cloud over the distance of 1 mile, where the horse won a newcomer's race when ridden by Mikel Barcelona on debut. That is currently the only time people have seen the horse. 1 run and 1 victory so far, for total prize money of €12,350, not including premiums at the moment. So you'll see there that the horse is entered in the Grand Prix de Paris. This coming is also entered in that. The horse is also a partant, which means participant mainly, at the moment, on the 31st of the 5th, 2026 at Chantilly, in the Prix de Jockey Club, which is the French Derby. The horse is also entered in the Prix Eugène Dam, the Grand Prix de Paris, and the Arc. So plenty of interesting entries still remain. Obviously, France Gallup only gives the entries in France. I know people like to take a look at these things on the Racing Post. So we can do that now. People will see that the Racing Post allocated a mark of 100 for Daryzan's debut 5-length victory over Memory. A Racing Post rating of 100 on first time out is not to be sniffed at, even if it was only a 3-year-old race rather than a 2-year-old race. Interesting horse, like I said. People will see that if there's any other entries in this part of the world, it's actually entered in the Irish Champion Stakes as well. A race held on the 12th of September 2026, as well as the confirmed entry for the Arc and the Prix de Jockey Club as well. Very interesting horse, Daryzan. Very interesting horse. People will see that the great site over, well, it's not the great site, the Pedigree, there's only one great site. The Pedigree online thoroughbred database, you see, despite this horse running in this week's French Derby, still has already fallen behind the horse. No record at all of its debut victory on the Pedigree online thoroughbred database, which is becoming more and more the norm, really. This site really has gone downhill in the past year or so. I've noticed that. So I use it so often. Now, they're always trying to do everything on the cheap. That's their problem. You know, Daryzan, the dam line of the horse, what we're interested in for the purpose of this video is dam line 1E. You know, if these people would these people let human beings edit their own site who don't even work for them. You know, do you see me come onto the internet and say, oh, just go to Men Classic Watch if you want. Go and update the site yourself. Stick whatever horses you want on it. Of course you don't. And there is a very good reason for that. You know, these people need to own and take responsibility for their own website a lot more than what they do. Everything is just seems to be begging for money, but they don't even spend any of the money on their own site. They certainly don't pay anybody to edit it, that's for certain. You know, but Daryzan deemed not even to have raced by the Pedigree Online Thoroughbred database, even though the horse raced as recently as last month. You know, so they can't even be watching. You know, very interesting site that is. Really. Daryzan, though, what we'll do with this horse is, in the usual fashion, we'll take a look at the first 5 dams of the horse, which will take us all the way back to 1965. This is one of those bloodlines, unfortunately, that is too good. You know, if I was to include every single pattern race horse on this dam line, the video would last for a very long time. So what I've done is I've had to go through it before I start, cherry pick the best ones. And we're going to take a look at plenty of horses in between here and then. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the horse Daryzan win on his debut at St. Cloud on the 5th of May 2026. And then we will think about deciding whether we think this is a classic horse or not. Shouldn't take long. Right, without further ado, let's get cracking, shall we? We've obviously took a look at the horse already, Daryzan. I mean, before we even get to the first dam of this horse, I'm going to show you 5 or 6 horses. You know, this is the pedigree of some of my horses are what they are. Daryzan is the first horse we're going to take a look at. A horse born in 2012, sired by Shamadal out of Daryzan. Daryzan, of course, as we know, was sired by Selkirk out of a dam called Daryaba, who was foaled in 1996. Daryzan raced 13 times in his race career, 4 wins, 4 seconds and a third. 9 out of 13 starts in the first 3. For career earnings of €437,170, 1,897,500 Hong Kong dollars, and 170,000 dinars. I'm going to say that is some Arabic currency. I'm unsure what it is. Very good horse, Daryzan. Winner of the 2015 Group 2 Prix Eugène Dam out in France. The horse was also placed in the Group 2 Prix-Guillaume de Nano and was also placed third in the Group 1 Hong Kong Vase. In 2016, the horse won his first Group 1, winning the Prix Gannett to go with his Group 2 Prix Eugene Adam victory, and was also second in the Prix d'Ispahan and the Dubai City of Gold, a UAE Group 2 race. The horse raced in France, Hong Kong, Dubai and Great Britain, entered stud in 2017 at Haras de Bonneval in France, moved in 2024 to Haras de Montgoubert in France, where the horse sadly was euthanised on the 30th of May 2024 due to an illness. But yeah, the horse was a Group 1 and Group 2 winner, placed in multiple Group 1 races as well. Very good horse. Unfortunately though, although he's sadly dead now as well, the horse wasn't really that much of a successful stallion. I can tell that by looking at jbis.jp, where I rapidly becoming the go-to places for stallions that no longer stand. And people can see that Daryzan side the winner of the Group 3 2025 York Summer Stakes. Only as far as last season came his first stakes winner in the Group 3 race at York, courtesy of a horse called Sayyida Daryzan, sired out of a dam called 10 Carat Ruby's Lace. But yeah, pretty disappointing stallion, it's fair to say. Couple of other placed efforts along from the horse as well. Group to go with the Group 3 victory. But yeah, the stallion, it's safe to say, is what he was. Daryzan, unfortunately, for the pedigree that he had, but a lovely horse on the track. The next one we're going to take a look at is Daryzan, a gelding, born in 2013, sired by Dansili out of Daryakana. Daryzan raced 39 times in his career, 3 wins, 2 seconds and 5 thirds, 10 out of 39 starts in the first 3, for career earnings of 104,450 Australian dollars and 56,750 euros in his career. Daryzan, one of the lesser lights out of Daryakana, it's fair to say. The horse managed to win the 2016 Grand Prix de Clairefontaine over a mile and a half. The horse was also placed 4th in the Group 2 Qatar Prix Niel the same year. Owned by the Aga Khan before moving to Australia, the horse never really reached the highlights of some of the others. Raced in France and Australia on the flats and over the jumps before sadly dying on the 18th of December 2019. Devamani was a gelding born in 2014, sired by Jubawi out of Daryakana. Devamani raced 47 times in his career, 9 wins, 9 seconds and 8 thirds. 26 out of 47 starts in the first 3, for career earnings of 562,706 US dollars in his career. I actually remember this one going round. I backed it a few times in America. I didn't ever backed it in France at all. The horse managed to win 4 the Group 2 Knickerbocker Stakes out in America in 2018, and the horse also won at 5 the Group 3 Monmouth Stakes. Owned by L&G Racing Stables and bred by the Aga Khan, the horse is a Group 2 and Group 3 winner out in America. The horse raced in France and the US. Daryzan, another mare I remember backing myself on a double handful, my first ever sight. Daryzan was a mare born in 2016, sired by Dawn Approach out of a dam called Daryakana. Daryzan raced 10 times in her career, 3 wins and 2 thirds, 5 out of 10 starts in the first 3, for career earnings of 80,375 euros in her career so far. Well, I say so far, she's retired. Daryzan, again, one of the lesser lights, it's fair to say. At 3, she managed to win the listed Prix Casimir Delamere, a listed race, and the next year after that, in 2020, age 4, she was placed 3rd in the Group 3 Prix Fil de la Air. So again, only a Group 3 place listed winner, the horse bred and owned by the Aga Khan in her career. I don't know if I've seen any of her progeny go round, It was definitely one I followed at some point in her career on the track, you see. I've missed. Oh, yeah, see, there's only been one go round this year. Oh, no, foaled in 2023. So next year. Or this year. But yeah, I know I hadn't seen any, and I know I hadn't missed any. Because I just haven't seen them. I haven't seen them because there hasn't been any. But yeah, Daryzan, definitely a mare to watch on this damn line, it's fair to say. The next one we can take a look at is Daryzan, a mare born in 2019, sired by Frankel out of Daryzan. Daryzan has raced 11 times in her career, 4 wins and a third, 5 out of 11 starts in the first 3, for career earnings of €116,150 in her career. Another mare to keep an eye on, 7 years old, Daryzan. At 2023, she managed to win the TV Zastro Stuten Prize, a German Group 2 race in 2023. Beautifully placed by connections there. And she also managed to win the listed Prix de la Papinière, a French listed race. So yeah, German Group 2, French listed winner, another one owned and bred by the Aga Khan. I don't think there will be any foals out of this mare either. Let's have a look. No progeny records found as of yet. But yeah, this is what I was saying the other day. You really do need to watch my videos with a pen and paper because I'll give you 2 mares there that which should produce some very good horses in the future. My videos are just never about one horse. The next horse we can take a look at is still going round to this day. Daryzan, a colt born in 2022, sired by See the Stars out of Daryzan. Daryzan is arguably one of the best horses in training at the moment worldwide. Daryzan has had 9 starts in his career, 8 wins and 1 second. Never out of the first 2 in 9 starts. For career earnings of €3,315,010 and also 17,812 UK pounds. Obviously, they got it beat in England. They'll get anything beat in England. Daryzan, a very good horse. It was actually beaten in how's it won pounds? It's been placed in the Prix d'Orange. It's won. Surely it's not won a £17,000 listed race in England. So I'm saying the currencies are all over the place on this site. They don't put the work in. They need to put the work in. As soon as people take a look at what they've put, they can just spot holes right through it. The horse actually won the Prix d'Arc de Triomphe last year, Group 1 winner, age 3, in 2025. The horse also won the Group 2 Prix Eugene Adam and the listed Prix Ridgeway, as well as finishing second in the Prix du Prince d'Orange. It was beat by Quadenor, wasn't it? Yeah, of course it was. At 4, the horse has already won 2 Group 1 races this year, winner of the Prix Gannet over 2,100 metres, and the horse has also won what is registered as the Prix d'Ispahan over 1,850 metres. So this horse is a triple Group 1, Group 2 and listed winner already. Unfortunately, the horse was never aimed at any classics last year. It was always a horse I was looking to get on side, but if the trainers don't aim their horses at classics, then how can they get on a site called Classic Watch? Some horses do slip through the net, but luckily, they slip through the net as regarding me giving them to the general public. I know about them. I just don't need to disseminate them from the purposes of my site because they're not running in classics. But yeah, Daryzan is there, and he's there for all to see. Triple Group 1 winner, all roads surely pointing towards a back-to-back tilt in the Arc de Triomphe if the horse goes well. Well, he might be taking on his younger brother. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Yeah, this is a very interesting line, it's fair to say. But Daryzan, surely, if he can stay fit and sound, a virgin stallion career awaits him as well. Right, finally, we can take a look at the first mare of our horse now. I've already shown you more in one video on one horse than what most people show you in 3. Bear that in mind. Daryzan, a mare born in 2006, sired by Selkirk, out of a dam called Daryzan, who was born in 1996 and sired by Night Shift, out of a dam called Darata. People see that we've got a 20-year-old mare here, Daryzan, and on her track she was no back number. 9 starts in her career, 5 wins and 2 thirds. 7 out of 9 starts in the first 3. For career earnings of €189,520, 7,980,000 Hong Kong dollars and 53,700 UK pounds in her career. Very good mare, Daryzan. At 3, she managed to win the 2009 Hong Kong Vase Group 1 race. She also won the Group 2 Prix de Royaume and she also won the listed Prix de Tourelle. At 4, she couldn't quite get her head in front. She was placed in the 2 Group 1 races, the Grand Prix de Saint-Cloud and the King George in the UK, and she was also placed in the Group 2 Prix Corrida and the Group 2 Prix... she was 4th in the King George and 5th in the Prix Foy. But she was placed. What do people put when a horse is 4th and 5th? Just makes you think it was placed. You haven't got time to read everything. You need to glance. And 1st, 2nd and 3rd, I should say. Anything else not needed. At 4, the horse was placed 3rd in the Group 1 Grand Prix de Saint-Cloud and the Group 2 Prix Corrida. Very interesting horse. Hong Kong Vase winner of 2009, owned and bred by the Aga Khan. Multiple black type producer, and we have certainly seen that, haven't we? What have we got between the 2nd and the 3rd down? Let's have a look and see what we can find. I can't quite remember now. Daryzan, a horse born in 2003, sired by Rainbow Quest, out of a dam called Daryzan. So this horse is a half brother, to our mare, Daryzan. Daryzan raced 10 times in his career, 5 wins and 3 thirds, 8 out of 10 starts in the first 3, for career earnings of €169,950 in his career. Daryzan managed to win the Group 2 Prix Conseil de Paris in 2006, and the horse also won the listed Grand Prix de Clairefontaine as well. Placed in another 1 Group 3 race, and another 2 listed races as well. Another one bred and owned by the Aga Khan. The horse stood at stud and harassed the Le Cercy La Tour in France, mainly standing national hunt horses. I couldn't find any record of it standing many decent flat horses, but yeah, another good, solid horse on the track. A couple of the trouble with some of these regarding studies, they do need a trip. Some of these need 1.5 miles, and the 2-year-old form we're not seeing much, have we? Yeah, they are what they are. They're good, solid, proper horses. There's no shortcut to success in horse racing. Sometimes you have to get the best horses and just wait and take your time. Daryzan, very good horse indeed. Group 2 and listed winner and national hunt stallion. Daryzan is the horse we're going to take a look at now. A horse born in 2011, sired by Street Cry, out of a dam called Daryzan. So this one is another half brother to our dam, Daryzan. Daryzan raced 9 times in his career, 3 wins, a 2nd and a 3rd, 5 out of 9 starts in the first 3, for career earnings of $135,046 in his career. Daryzan, I couldn't find any record of this horse doing much at stud either, sadly, at the moment. The horse did win the listed Prix Marchand d'Or of 2014 and was placed 3rd in the Group 2 Prix de Chêne of 2013, as well as being placed in the listed Prix de Pontarme as well, trained by Alain de Royer-Dupré and Daryl Vienna in the USA, and owned by the Aga Khan and Red Baron's Barn, LLC. The horse is said on here as being a stud in the US. To be honest, this is one I didn't check. I don't like to tell lies in my videos. And I know I said I couldn't find anything, but it's because I didn't look. Sounded a bit like AI there, didn't I? Look, you lazy human. I'm going to pause the video and have a look. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Yeah, that was a look, wasn't it? You see there that the JBIS don't even recognise Daryzan as a stallion. No stallion tabs whatsoever. All right, the next horse we're going to take a look at is Dordana, a mare born in 2013, sired by Exceed and Excel, out of Dardania. So we're now down to Daryzan being the 2nd down of these horses. Dordana raced 2 times in her career, according to this. 1 win and 1 third. Never out of the first 3 in 2 starts, for career earnings of €24,500. Dordana was placed 3rd in the Group 3 Prix Vanto of 2019, when trained by Alain de Royer-Dupré. She is a black type winner as well, because I found this horse. Daryzan is the name of the horse, a gelding born in 2019, sired by Golden Horn, out of Dordana. Daryzan has raced 8 times in his career, 2 wins and 4 thirds, 6 out of 8 starts in the first 3, for career earnings of €880. People see that Daryzan managed to win the 2023 listed Prix du Pays d'Arche, another horse owned by Aga Khan and then sold on. The horse was trained at some point by Michael Daryzan in France. Page hasn't been updated since 2023. But yeah, you can see this horse is a listed winner. So Daryzan has done a little bit by breeding that one pattern horse and winning a pattern race herself. Dayaba, I think we're at the dam now, aren't we? Is Dayaba the dam? She is. Dayaba is the second dam of our horse, foaled in 1996. Sired by Night Shift out of a dam called Daryzan, who was born in 1988 and is sired by Daryzan. Good solid Aga Khan stallion there, if ever there was one. Out of a dam called Daryzan. People will see that the second dam of our horse is an Oaks winner. You know, Dayaba raced 5 times in her career, 3 wins and a second. 4 out of 5 starts in the first 2, for career earnings of $354,596. Winner at 3 of the Group 1 Prix Diane and also the Group 1 Prix Vermeil, when trained by Alan Duroyer-Dupré. Dual Group 1 winner, multiple black type producer, as we've seen, classic winner. So let's have a look what we've got. We've got the Arc winner last year, foaled by the Hong Kong Vase winner at 3, who was in fact out herself out of an Arcs winner, out of an Oaks winner. You know, some lines are what they are, but I bring you everybody. Right, now we're at the second dam. I did have to be a lot more selective now. This is where the video could have really got long. So what I've tried to do is I've just tried to use a bit of discernment and try and pick what I consider the most relevant ones, but I might have missed a few out. Darcy is the next horse, a horse born in 2003, sired by Polish precedent out of Daryzan. You people will see that we're on this. Daryzan is the third dam of this horse. Daryzan is all over the place now until I tell you otherwise. You know, watch her move about. She moves about. You know, Darcy raced 6 times in his career, 3 wins and a second. 4 out of 6 starts in the first 2, for career earnings of €587,055 in his career. Again, classic winner. Darcy, winner of the 2006 French Derby, the race we're trying to pick up now. The horse also won the Croker Cup, whatever that is, during the Dublin Horse Show at the RDS in 2019. The horse did stand at stud at Beachbrook Stud in Ireland, but he was mainly, again, a bit like Daryzan, a stallion of National Hunt horses. Bred by the Aga Khan and owned by the Aga Khan at some point, as well as High Flyer, Bloodstock. Yeah, very good horse, Darcy, and another classic winner. Dargina, a mare born in 2004, sired by Zamindar out of Darinska, a 1999 born mare. You'll see that Daryzan is on the move here to the 4th dam. Assume that all them dams won pattern races and fold pattern horses. You know, you are safe to do that, to listed placed or whatever. You know, we're only looking at the cream of the crop here. Daryzan, the 4th dam of this horse. Dargina raced 9 times in her career, 5 wins, a second and 2/3. 8 out of 9 starts in the first 3, for career earnings of $2,183,716 in her career. Dargina, very good career. She managed to win at 3, the 2007 Group 1 Prix de Moulin, and a classic winner. The horse also managed to win the 2007 French 1,000 Guineas, as well as winning the Group 3 Prix de la Grotte, the listed race Prix de Start. I don't think that was ever a Group 1 race, I'm not sure. At 2, I'm not sure. First, also the Prix Cordova. And at 4, the horse was placed second in the Dubai Duty Free, a race that was ran in the UAE. And the horse was also placed second in the Group 1 Prix d'Ispahan of 2008. Bred by the Aga Khan stud and owned by Princess Zara Aga Khan. You remember when she pretended to own a few for him? But yeah, you'll see there Daryzan, the 4th dam of Dargina. Absolutely incredible pedigree, really, isn't it? The only sad thing is I didn't really see any foals that had done anything decent on the track. You see, 2 unraced foals in 2011 and in 2012. You know, so that brilliant filly, just unable, sadly, to transferability. Almanzor, a horse born in 2013, sired by Wootton Bassett out of a dam called Darkover, a 2008 bred mare sired by Maria's Mon. People will see that Daryzan has shifted position yet again. In this horse, Daryzan is the 5th dam of this horse. Almanzor raced 11 times in his career, 8 wins and a third. 9 out of 11 starts in the first 2, 8 out of 11 in the first 1. For career earnings of €1,903,600 and £737,230 UK pounds in his career. Very good horse, Almanzor. At 2, the horse managed to win a listed race. Some of them managed to do that. Winner of the listed Grand Criterium de Bordeaux of 2015. At 3, the horse was a classic winner. Winner of the Prix de Jockey Club, the French Derby of 2016. The horse also won the Irish Champion Stakes the same year, as well as winning the UK Champion Stakes, Group 1, the Group 2, Prix Guillaume de Nano, and the Group 3, Prix de Guiche. Very good horse, triple Group 1 winner. Horse was also 3rd in the Group 3, Prix de Fontainebleau, at the very start of his 3-year-old career. Horse was trained by Jean-Claude Rouget, European champion 3-year-old colt of 2016. The horse raced in France, Ireland and England. Entered stud in 2018 at Cambridge Stud in New Zealand. Been between the 6 years shuttling back to France to stand at Harras and D'Etram in France. I think the horse is permanently based out in New Zealand now as a stallion, and he's still an active one as well, standing for a current fee of 25,000 New Zealand dollars at contact Scott Calder, Cambridge Stud in New Zealand. For this stallion, he's a polarising stallion, I think it's fair to say. A lot of people in Europe don't really rate it. Yeah, the stallion is what it is. The stallion has sired over 1,003 horses in a very short period of time. You know, the horses always have big crops. Look, 76 is smallest. 1,003 foals born. Only 710 of them have made the track. You know, and between them, just over half have won. 392 between them have won 810 races. Out of those 1,000 horses, the horse side 30 individual stakes winners, who between them have won 45 stakes races, and the horse side 20 individual graded race winners, who between them have won 29 graded races. People will see that the colts aren't really doing the job. The fillies seem to be holding sway when it comes to Almanzor. 16 graded wins to 13 and 11 to 9 among individual horses. Regarding the distances, the only distance that hasn't sired a stakes winner is 5 furlongs and up to between a mile and 1 mile 1 furlongs. The horse seems quite versatile regarding distance, it's fair to say. But the horse really just hasn't kicked on as much, really. The horse at one point was the 3rd best stallion in New Zealand in 2024-25 from 96 runners. There's always been a top 10 stallion out there. Not making much of a mark in Australia, it's fair to say. But you'll see that though he's had a few go round in a few areas. 185 have gone round in Australia, 246 in France, 168 in New Zealand, 84 in Britain, and only 29 in Ireland, despite the horse winning the Champion Stakes in Ireland. The horse has never sired a pattern race winner of any kind in Ireland. But yeah, the horse seems to be doing better in New Zealand than anywhere else, which is, I suppose, why the stallion has ended up there. They probably think they've got a good stallion out there. You know, the horse is very well bred. But you just you would expect more, wouldn't you, from 1,003 foals than 30 decent horses. You know, but yeah, the horse was decent on the track and has been a serviceable stallion, I would say. Guildsman is an interesting one because he was quite recent. A gelding born in 2017, sired by Wootton Bassett out of Daryzan. A 2011 bred mare, sired by Street Cry. You'll see that this one here, Daryzan, is again playing the role of 5th dam. Guildsman raced 30 times in his career, 6 wins, a second and 5 thirds. 12 out of 30 starts in the first 3. for career earnings of $244,590 $39,481 Canadian dollars, 26,897 UK pounds, and 14,400 euros. Tell me these people do not want a global currency, and I will call you a liar. Guildsman, very decent horse at 2, placed in the Group 2 Coventry Stakes at Royal Ascot in 2019. Also placed in the Group 3 Round Tower Stakes the same year. At 3, the horse managed to win a couple of races in America. Won a stakes race, the Tonbridge Stakes, and then the horse also won the Group 3 Franklin Simpson Stakes of 2020. Placed in another American stakes race in 2021. The horse was owned at some point by Qatar Racing, bred by SCEA Haras de Saint-Père, and it's had a decent enough career, it's fair to say. Group 2 placed, Group 3 and stakes winner in the US. The horse raced in Ireland, Great Britain, France, the USA and Canada. Trained by Archie Watson, Brendan P. Walsh, Robert N. Falcone Jr. and Martin Drexler out in Canada. Majestic Queen is a horse we really do need to look at. It would have been harsh for me to leave her out. A mare born in 2010, sired by Kelaeth, out of a dam called Night Fairy, a 2001 bred mare, sired by Danehill. People will see again that Daryzan is playing the role of the 4th dam here. Majestic Queen raced 19 times in her career, 5 wins, 3 seconds and 2 thirds. 10 out of 19 starts in the first 3. For career earnings of €135,528 and 38,355 UK pounds. Good horse, Majestic Queen. She managed to win 2 Group 3 races. She won the Group 3 Ballyoden Stakes in Ireland, and she also won the Group 3 Chartwell Filly Stakes, held at Lingfield. The horse was also placed 3rd in the Group 2 Greenland Stakes, a sprint at the Curragh in 2015. Group 2 placed dual Group 3 winner, trained in Ireland by Tracy Collins. The horse bred by Sunderland Holdings Limited and owned by the Majestic Queen Partnership, Thomas J. Rogers, and at some point, Godolphin. But yeah, very interesting horse. Very interesting. And a black type producer, which is why it would have been harsh to not show this horse, because she has done her bit on this line. You know, we've got to take a look at My Titania. My Titania, a mare born in 2011, sired by See the Stars, out of a dam called Fairy of the Night, who was born in 2002 and sired by Danehill. People will see again that Daryzan is playing the role of the 4th dam here. Night Fairy, Sassenach is the 2nd dam of both horses here. Look. Sassenach, the 2nd dam of Majestic Queen, and the 2nd dam of My Titania. My Titania raced 8 times in her career, 2 wins, a second and 2 thirds. 5 out of 8 starts in the first 3. For career earnings of €60,425 and 20,100 UK pounds in her career. Again, it would have been very harsh to leave this horse out. My Titania managed to win the Group 3 CL Weld Park Stakes at 2 in 2013. She was also placed in the Group 2 Kilboy Stakes at 3 in 2014. 4th in the Group 1 Coronation Stakes. She was also placed 3rd in the listed Harry Harriet Stakes at 4 in 2015. Horse was trained by John Ox in Ireland, raced in Ireland and Great Britain, owned by Sunderland's Holdings Limited, the breeders of the horse, and Christopher Suey, who was the owner of See the Stars, those colours. Very good horse. It was really, to be fair to it. And with the Sassenach line as well, you see, it leads us to this current stallion, you see. Assume that My Titania has bred more pattern horses than this, because she has. You know, it's just pointless me showing you them all, because we get bogged down in horses of the same ability. But there's My Prospero, you see. My Prospero, a horse born in 2019, sired by Ifraj, out of My Titania, the mare we've just looked at. So obviously Sassenach is the 3rd dam of this horse, as well as the 2 we've just looked at. My Prospero raced 13 times in his career, 5 wins, a second and 4 thirds. 10 out of 13 starts in the first 3. For career earnings of £475,058 UK pounds in his career. Interesting horse, My Prospero. at 3. Managed to win the Group 2 Prix-Eugène Dame in France in 2022. The horse also won the listed Heron Stakes the same year, has been placed in 2 Group 1 races, the Champion Stakes in Britain and the St James's Palace Stakes at Royal Ascot. At 4, the horse managed to win the listed Foundation Stakes, being placed in the Group 2 York Stakes as well, as finishing 4th in the 2 Group 1 races. And at 5, the horse managed to add the Group 3 Winter Hill Stakes at Windsor to his resume. So this horse is a dual-listed Group 3 and Group 2 winner, placed in 2 Group 1 races, owned and bred by Sunderland's Holding Incorporated and trained by William Haggers in England. The horse entered third in 2025 at Haras Defons in France. And yeah, people can see if they go to the area and pedigree page of My Prospero, they can see that. The horse commenced their duties in France in 2025. One thing I will show you is the dam line. You'll see I could have had my Oberon, my Astra, Muthmere. I could have had Dress Rehearsal, Triasha, Baby Pig, Let's Be Frank Baby, and My Highness. And My Highness going around this year. Actually, that was one. Was that the one that's just ran? That's been running in the Guineas? I'm not sure if it is, now. I'm confused now looking at the horse myself. Don't tell you the year it was born, does it? But yeah, if that was the one, was that a Godolphin horse that's going around this year? I'll tell you what. Let's stop speculating and pause the video, shall we? Maybe should have noticed this one. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Yeah, it was the horse I thought it was. My Highness, owned by Godolphin and bred by trained by Andre Fabre this year, owned and bred by Godolphin. 2023 horse, sired by Gayath, out of a dam called Majestic Queen. So this really should have been here, shouldn't it? The Majestic Queen would have led us on to that. My Highness managed to win the Group 2 Prix de Calvados as a 2-year-old in 2025. At 3, she was placed second in the Group 3 Prix Imprudence. She did run in the UK 1,000 guineas this year. Be very remiss of me not to leave this. I don't know what's going on there. But 3 and 3 does not equal 5. Pedigree Online Thoroughbred Database. 3 wins, 3 places out of 5 starts. 6 out of 5 in the first 2. For career earnings of €118,720 racing in France currently. But yeah, impossible not to rule out any improvement from this horse, isn't it? Based on what we've seen. What I wasn't with. I've never been with the horse. I watched it go out in the pre-imprudence. I knew he was invented I didn't link this line to my line, the Daryzan line. That's what I didn't do. So I didn't follow this one. My Highness. It didn't win anyway. It's not like I've missed a classic. I wonder if they'll run the horse round in the French Oaks. Yeah, that'd be nice of them, wouldn't it? We might get this one on side as well then. That's the trouble with my videos. Like I said, incredible videos. My Titania, we've looked at My Prospero as well. But yeah, you can say that's the sort of thing we can expect. The dam line. If I'd have shown you Almanzor, you'd have realised how much. See, there's Dayakana, Daramsar, Daryabi, you see. Go further back than that, you could have had Grandeur, Far Cry, all the ones I said. It took so long, though, the video. So without further ado, let's move forward to Dorata. Dorata, I think, is the third dam of our horse. Yes, she is. A mare born in 1988, sired by Veyman, out of a dam called Daryzan, who was foaled in 1979. It'll soon be time to look at the great mare herself, won't it? Dorata raced 7 times in her career, 2 wins, a second and a third. 4 out of 7 starts in the first 3. For career earnings of €53,357 in her career. Dorata managed to win the listed Prix de Terrell. Not the first time we've seen that on this line, is it? They want to get My Highness in that. Yeah, 2nd, 3rd and the 4th. Again, there's 2 placed efforts there in Group 3 races. The Prix de Royaumont and the Prix Minerve. And she was also placed 4th in the Group 2 Prix de Royaumont. So, dual Group 3 place listed winning third dam. Owned and bred by the Aga Khan Dorata. And another black type producer for all the mares that we've seen. But yeah, you have to look at some of the dams in ours. We've got she's the first dam on our line not to win a Group 1 race. Both Dayakana and Daryaba reached Group 1 winners in our glory. We have to make do here with a dual Group 3 place listed winner for the third dam. Deary me. Caballo de Mar, this was one the other day. A gelding, born in 2021, sired by Phoenix of Spain, out of a dam called Oberyn, who was foaled in 2014 and sired by Holy Roman Emperor. Caballo de Mar, again, if you look, you've got the mighty mare Daryzan as the fourth dam of this horse. It's one of the best stayers around at the moment. Unfortunately gelded the horse. The horse was raced 22 times in his career, 9 wins, 5 seconds and 2/3. 16 out of 22 starts in the first 3, for career earnings of £686,294 UK pounds, even though the horse was raced the majority of its time in Great Britain and France and the UAE as well as Great Britain. They whack it all in the one currency this time. The inconsistencies on this site really are infuriating. Caballo de Mar was bred by Baruchstud Island, owned by Blue Star Racing and now owned by Victorious Racing, which is the Qataris again, really. At 4, the horse won the Prix du Cadran of 2025. This horse is actually a classic winner. The horse won the Group 3 German St. Leger last season as well in 2024. And at 5 this year, the horse has already won another Group 1 race, the Prix Vicomtesse Vigier, a Group 1 race as well. So dual Group 1 classic winner. The horse was second in the Group 2 Dubai Gold Cup and also second in the Group 3 Cigaro Stakes at Ascot as well. Very good horse, Caballo de Mar, still winning Group 1 races this very year. I hope you got your pen and paper. I hope you got your pen with you for this video. But the pause button does exist as well. Very good horse, Caballo de Mar. The next one we need to take a look at is Honorine. Honorine, a mare born in 2009, sired by Reduced Choice, out of an Australian-bred mare called Zaldivar, who was born in 2001. And sired by Honour and Glory. People will see that, what do you know? Look at the second dam. The mighty Daryzan, somehow the second dam of this horse, out in South Africa. The horse raced 18 times in her career, 5 wins, a second and 4/3. 10 out of 18 starts in the first 3, for career earnings of 484,775 South African Rand. Honorine, she managed to finish 3rd in the 2012 Golden Horseshoe in South Africa, a Group 1 race. In 2014, she won the Group 2 Camellia Stakes, a race held at Turfentine. She was also placed in the Bohemia Handicap. Looks a bit of a sprinter, actually. 7 furlongs the maximum. Group 1 placed, Group 2 winner. Honorine, the horse trained by Mike de Kock in the time he was based out in Australia. Horse raced in South Africa and was exported there on 2011. After it was born, I don't know what they've done there. But yeah, this is an interesting horse owned by Wilga Bogstrift Limited and bred by Arrowfield Pastoral Property Limited out in New South Wales. The next horse we can take a look at is the mighty 4th dam of our horse, Daryzan. Seems to have done a lot of the legwork on this video. Daryzan, a mare born in 1979, sired by Labous, a French stallion born in 1971, out of a French-bred mare called Jebelina, who was born in 1965. Daryzan raced 4 times on the track and only managed to win once, earning €12,379, even though she was going round before Euros were even invented. Daryzan, trained by Yves Saint Martin and H. Samani in France. The horse was bred by Marcel Boussac and owned by the Aga Khan. Black type producer, that's a slight exaggeration, isn't it? What a phenomenal filly Daryzan has been. So many fantastic horses excel out of the 4th dam of our horse. But there's no escape that she is the worst one on the track by a long way. The first of our 4 dams not to win a pattern race on our horse, Daryzan. We'll take a look at the 5th dam now, Jebelina. Jebelina, a mare born in 1965, sired by Charlottesville, a great British-bred stallion born in 1957, out of a French-bred mare called Dalama, who was born in 1957 and was sired by Jebel. Jebelina was down as only racing 4 starts, and nobody knows how many times she won, placed or showed. Well, they're not telling us anyway. Jebelina, all it's down is 25th of April, 1965, foaled, raced in France. The horse was owned and bred by Marcel Boussac. Another legend of French breeding. You know, the French really do know how to breed a horse when they put their mind to it. You know, very good horse. I mean, where can we go from here? Well, should we take a look at some horses out of Jebelina's sister? You know, let's look at a couple, shall we? Street Boss, a horse born in the year 2004, sired by Street Cry, out of a dam called Blushing Ogygian, who was born in 1994 and sired by Ogygian, out of a dam called, that's a good one, isn't it? Fruling Shocksight. I nailed that first time, didn't I? Who was born in 1984 and American bred mare. You know, Street Boss, what a horse. 13 starts in his career, 7 wins, 3 seconds and a third. 11 out of 13 starts in the first 3 for career earnings of $831,800 US in his career. The horse we're concerned with is Rivada. People see Rivada, a mare born in 1966 in France. She is also out of Dalama, the 1957 bred mare, which makes her Jebelina's sister. You know, so these are only related to the 6th dam of our horse. You know, frightening. Street Boss, in its own right, a fantastic horse at 4, winning the Group 1, a Triple Bend Invitational of 2008. The horse also won the Group 1 Bing Crosby Handicap and the Group 3 Los Angeles Handicap, 2nd in the Group 1 Ancient Title Handicap, and 3rd in the Group 1 Breeders' Cup Sprint. The horse last raced in 2008 before entering stud in 2009 at Darley. The horse shuttled to Darley in Australia, but then the horse was moved permanently to Victoria, where its 2026 fee is 66,000 Australian dollars. The horse bred by Brilliant Stable Incorporated and is now, as we know, owned by Darley. In my view, this is a fantastic stallion. You know, I've really had some nice horses out of this one. There you'll see there, 66,000 is the price in 2026, as we said. You'll see there that this horse as well sired so many horses. Although 107 in 2010 was still to this day the biggest crop the horses had. But look at that for a crop. 22 stakes winners in the Australian season. You know, this horse is what it is. The horse commenced stud duties in USA in 2009 as well as Australia at the same time. 2, 3 and 4 people seem to want a bit of time, don't they? Only 13 graded winners have come as a 2-year-old against 32 as a 3-year-old and 31 as a 4-year-old. You know? Before we take a look at that, we better look how many the Street Bosses foaled. 1,962 horses. And out of that, 1,531 of them have ran. And between them, 1,084 horses have won 3,300 races. Between them, the horses side 89 individual stakes winners, who between them have won 185 stakes races. And the horses also side the winner of 35 individual graded races, who between them have side 76 graded race winners. You want a colt, really? Colts well in front. 50 graded wins by the Colts, 26 by the fillies. If you see a Street Boss filly for sale, just walk away. You know, that would be my advice. The distances, anything over 2 miles, has sired a pattern race winner. 15 state pattern race winners over the minimum trip as well. You'll see that in Australia, the horse was the 5th best stallion of 2025-26. You know, the horse has been good. It's been a top 20 stallion out there for the last 4 or 5 years, to be fair to it. Yeah, it's a good horse and a good stallion. You'll see that 597 have gone round in Australia, 733 have gone round in the USA, 87 in Canada, 25 in Hong Kong, 22 in Saudi Arabia, and no more than 20 anywhere else. Only 19 have gone round in Britain. No pattern winners. There's only been 1 pattern winner in Ireland out of only 7 horses. You know, the Europe has not embraced the quality of this stallion, it's fair to say. Neither has Japan, where only 6 have gone round. But yeah, very good stallion, Street Boss, and he would be very closely related to our horse, Daryzan. But as are many others, you know, some of the horses that I show you are what they are, aren't they? Shall we take a quick look at Fantastic Moon? A colt born in the year 2020, sired by See the Moon, out of a dam called Frangipani, a 2014 German-bred mare, who was sired by Jukebox Jury. People will see that Rivada is rather doing a good impression of the other dam. She's moved position here. Ravada is the 5th dam of this horse, Fantastic Moon. Fantastic Moon raced 13 times in his career, 7 wins, 3 seconds and a third, 11 out of 13 in the first 3, for career earnings of €860,100 right in Germany and France. It's a very good horse, Fantastic Moon, it's fair to say. Winner of the Group 3 Premier German race for 2-year-old of 2022, the price to Winter Favoriton. At 3, the horse was a classic winner, winning the German Derby of 2023. The horse also won the Group 3 Derby Trial in Germany and the Group 2 Premier in France. Placed in the Grosser Dalmar price against the older horses. At 4, the horse managed to win a German Group 1 race, winning the Grosser Preis von Baden of 2024. The horse also won the Grosser Preis von Wetzlar.de, a Group 2 race in Germany, second in the Grosser Dalmar price Group 1, and the listed Preis von Dolmitz. The horse was trained by Natascha Volksdagel and Sarah Steinberg in Germany. Very good horse, 2025 stallion at Gestert-Ebersloh in Germany. And we can confirm that, you see, just by looking at that, commenced stud duties in Germany for a fee of €9,000. But again, look what I've passed on: Fearless Hunter, Germain, Lucky Chappie, Rewarded, Perfect Star, Kilmar. They could have all been included in this video. You know, they're all very good horses. The next one we're going to take a look at is out in America, Jack Christopher. A horse born in 2019, sired by Munnings, out of a dam called Rushin No Blushin, who was born herself in 2009 and sired by Half Hours, out of Blushin Oxygen. You know, this is very, very closely related to the horse we looked at earlier, Street Boss. You know, there's a Fooling Shot site as well, and Ravada, the 5th dam of the horse. Jack Christopher raced 6 times in his career, 5 wins and a third, never out of the first 3 in 6 starts, for career earnings of $941,400 US dollars in his career. Again, what a horse. Jack Christopher at 2, Group 1 winning 2-year-old. We haven't had many of them on this line, have we? In 2021, winning the Champagne Stakes. At 3, the horse won the Grade 1 Woody Stevens Stakes. And the horse also won the Grade 1 Alan Jerkins Memorial Stakes and the Group 2 Pat Day Mile, finishing 3rd in the Group 1 Haskell as well. Very good horse, bred by Castleton Lions and Kilboy Estate. The horse owned by Ashford Stud now. Entered stud in 2023, with a 2026 fee of $15,000 US dollars. And people will see, if they go to Arian, they can see that this horse is at stud now. First crop goes round this year. In fact, a crop of 191 is 2024 crop. Only 7 have run so far, but one of them has already managed to break his duck. And I think we can see that horse is called Rhythm of Crown, winner at 2 in 2026. The horse has had 1 more place horse, but plenty more to come and run as the American 2-year-old season comes down. I wonder if we'll find any for Classic Watch 27, should Classic Watch 27 exist. Very good horse, Jack Christopher, and an interesting stallion. Could end up more Almanzor than the other one we just looked at, Street Boss. Time will tell. But again, look at their Street Boss there. Look, you could have had Ballara, Life Imitates Art, Beyond Blame. The bold ones are placed horses. You know, I could have included them as well. You know, look at all these. Absolutely incredible. Fantastica, Forza Capitano. You know, no way. I've sold this pedigree so short in my video. It is untrue. You know, let's take a look at one last final horse before I show you the historic dam line. I'm going to take a look at Noah No Hikabuni, a mare born in 1982, sired by Arrow Express, a Japanese stallion out of a Japanese mare called Utrillo, who was born the same year as me in 1974 and sired by Prompt. Who the second dam is, Dalama. You know, so this horse is very closely related to both the mares we've just looked at that have produced some very good horses. Noah No Hikabuni raced 10 times in her career, 3 wins, a second and a third. 5 out of 10 starts in the first 3. For career earnings of 77,103,100 Japanese yen. Noah No Hikabuni managed to win the 1985 Japanese Oaks a Group 1 race, adding to the litany of classic winners that I've shown you in this video. Noah Ikeboni, horse bred by Ogifuji Bokujo, and the winner of the 1995 Japanese Oaks. We can take a look at the dam line quickly through the site at bloodlines.net. Unfortunately, the site has got some sort of Cloudflare error where the site cannot connect on its own domain. So people still have to use the archive, the Wayback Machine at archive.org to access this site. But they can look at Dam Family 1E on that site, and you will see that there's our section there. We've used Dalama. There's our section there, really, if we're being precise. Yeah, I've not really missed any of the historical ones. Dargina, Darcy, Dariyaba, all on the site. The Australian Derby winner of 1976 is also on this line, sired by Lyndon Tree. I think that ran in a famous derby, Mill Reef Derby, didn't it? Frühlingsturm as well, the Dutch Derby winner of 2000, sired by Umferway, who, of course, is a brilliantly bred horse himself. You know, so you could have had a couple of other minor ones. The Spanish Oaks winner of 1987 is also on this line as well, a horse called Robertia. But I think it's safe to say that we've made the case there in our little section. It's just a shame that the website bloodlines.net still isn't working. You know, I do think it will be a terrible loss to the horse racing community if that site is taken down, you know. Hopefully someone will have the initiative to build a replacement at one point when they have the time. They would need all the information off the site. You know, I wonder who would have been clever enough to grab all that. So an interesting world we live in. Bloodlines.net, you know, very good site, but the site no longer exists. You know, we're looking at an archived version. The information needs to be preserved for prosperity, so not everybody can see it moving forward, you know. But yeah, head over to the archive.org site and check out bloodlines.net if you would wish to. Right, what we can do now is finally, we have extinguished the pedigree. We can take a look at our horse Daryzan, win its maiden now. We'll close down a few tabs first to save on CPU. It's just a shame that the Pedigree Online Thoroughbred database has got this horse as not racing, isn't it? So we'll close that tab down as well. Daryzan, you will see, made his debut on the racetrack on the 5th of May, 2026 at St. Cloud, over 1 mile in a race called, the race was called the Prix Mendes. The horse missed the French 2000 guineas. The horse made its debut 5 days before it. But he was entered in it at the early stage. But the horse, I think, is going to turn up in the next classic, the 31st. Who knows whether it will turn up in the Grand Prix de Paris, a race over 1 mile and 4 furlongs. Don't forget the French Derby is over 1 mile, 2.5 furlongs. So this horse, if it's going for the Arc, might want to take in 1.5 miles at some point. Be interesting to see what they do with the horse. Very interesting indeed. If the horse can run well here in the Classic. But before we take a look at whether we think it's a Classic horse, the shortest conversation in history, let's watch the horse win first time out, shall we, at a race at St. Cloud in May 2026. And then we will see what we think.
These debutants ready, they're off and racing toward the outside. Daryzan has begun on level terms, also well away, was powerless toward the outside. White jacket, blue cap of modelling is coming through, along with also Oasis Beacon to lead. Oasis Beacon is going to lead over Sarcastic, who's now hunted through on the inside, and Sarcastic shows the way by a length. Second placing is Oasis Beacon. Into third placing is Sahara Beauty in the blue. A length or so then came Park Floral. A length to the inside Val Serene. And a similar margin to Garden Angel. A length and a half then came Orligress, followed there by Modelling. And behind those horses, in the centre is L'Annonciade. Outside horse, Powerless, the favourite on the inside in the green with the red epaulettes is Daryzan. Who's fourth last, third last there is Hodai Mahai, followed then by Larry Wing, and Memories at the rear. So they come down the side towards the home turn. The leader is Sarcastic, showing the way. Second placing, Oasis Beacon. Third placing, Sahara Beauty. They will follow them by Park Floral, and angling for an inside run there is Daryzan. Heading inside the final 400, Daryzan is coming through to join Sarcastic. On the outside, the one that he's working home is Modelling, though. Modelling is quickly moving up on the outside, takes the lead. Daryzan battles away. In fact, he's now knuckling down Daryzan. Geez, got some acceleration here. He just went to them, moved through, took the lead from Modelling, who looked home. And that's very, very impressive. Daryzan, what a quick turn of foot he had. Second home has gone to memory. Weakening into third there was Modelling as they went over the line, followed then on the outside by Hody Maihai. But how impressive was that? Daryzan, Miguel Barcelona, bolted in over number 2, Memory, Alexei Pushin. Third will go to horse 11, Modelling, Christoph Simeon, ahead of numbers 15, and then came 8. 1, 2.
How impressive indeed, you said there. The commentator summed it up perfectly there, I would say. For a minute there, it looked like that horse was struggling, wasn't it, to manage to secure the first time out win that I do like some of my horses to get. But like the commentator said there, a blistering turn of foot in the closing stages took the horse Daryzan away from the rest of the field, didn't it, really? And the horse, again, like the commentator said, has absolutely bolted in on debut to land the Prix Mendes. You know, and why would you not run a horse second time out in a classic on the back of that? That was an absolutely scintillating performance, wasn't it? You know, the horse travelled beautifully all through the race. As they came round the final bend, the horse managed to get a close position to ensure that he got a run. And then the horse has exploded down the last 400 metres of the track, hasn't he? There's no other words for it. An absolutely scintillating performance by Daryzan. You know, can this horse step up on only his second start to be competitive in a classic should he take his chance? Well, it will be very fascinating to see if he can. That's for certain. You know, I'm looking forward to this race. I've got so many horses that I like in this race and others to come as well in videos over the next couple of days as well. You know, this race really is the deepest 3-year-old classic I have looked at this year by a long, long way. You know, Daryzan will have to be very good to get involved here, let alone win the race. And it will be interesting to see how the horse gets on. But there is no disputing that if Daryzan was to line up in the French Derby this coming week, or even maybe the Irish Derby moving forward, there's not really many other races the horse can run in classics, then definitely this horse, Daryzan, will take his place, unlike his older brother, who went on to win the Arc, who should have really been a Classic Watch 25 horse if he was ever aimed at a classic. Then his older brother, Daryzan, will appear on classicwatch26.great/site.net. Right, I think I can think about leaving this video here now. Thank you very much to everybody who has sat and watched it with me. I'm sure you've enjoyed looking at all these fantastic horses as much as I have. You know, what a pedigree this horse has. It just remains to be seen, really. Are him and his brother going to turn up the same day in the Arc de Triomphe? You know, that would be fascinating to see, wouldn't it? So many fascinating races to come on this damn line. We looked at My Highness in the fillies division. You know, could there be more to come from her? You know, she is another interesting one now. These fillies, I've always been a believer that my horses reveal themselves when the time is ready. You know, I knew My Highness was running in the classic. I just didn't link the two together. It wasn't time for the puzzle to be complete. It's complete now. And if My Highness gets to step up to 1 mile, 2.5 furlongs in a classic, or even 1.5 miles in another race classic somewhere, then yeah, people could be in business with her. But for this video, it's obviously all about Daryzan. What I can do at the end of the video, what can I leave you? I can leave you an opportunity to subscribe to the channel. That way, if you've enjoyed the video, then you can enable your new YouTube notifications in a manner that will allow YouTube to let you know every time I upload a video. And you will not miss any more of my videos moving forward at any time. You know, you'll log in and they will be there. And if you click on the notifications, you'll be able to see that I uploaded a video. It will just be a matter of clicking on the video and watching it. That might help you move forward. I think you have to do some work on the notifications manager, but it doesn't take long, so I've been told. What else can I offer you? Is I can offer you an opportunity to look at the YouTube 26 Classic Watch Possibles playlist. There's over 50 horses on the Classic Watch Possibles playlist now. Not the actual Classic Watch horses. These are the Classic Watch Possibles, including the horses that I identified that have not run in Classics yet for one reason or another. But I am trying to limit them this year, basically by just waiting longer before I do the videos. But I'm such an eager beaver, that I end up with horses like Bewax, who was never even named in a Classic, that ended up being one of my favourite horses. They are what they are, my videos, full of fantastic horses. Hopefully some of them, at some point, will take out Classics. This one here, Daryzan, fascinating contender, should he line up in the French Classic this coming weekend. It's not the only Classic by any stretch of the imagination. It's the first Classic in Queensland this weekend in Australia, the Australian Derby this week. Shame I'm a bit pushed for time. I'm shame this race is so strong. If this race was a normal renewal, Classic Watch 26 might have another Australian horse on it. But I can't see how I've got the time to do it. The race is on 4.5 hours. It is on to this evening. And I've got videos that already need uploading in that time for France and Japan. Just sad that Queensland and Australia has missed out this time. So there's that as well. There's also the Japanese Derby this coming weekend, where a few of my Classic Watch 26 possibles are coming back for more. Hopefully, they will be able to run a little bit better than they did in the Derby when Love Sen beat a lot of them. But yeah, fascinating weekend. Not so much in England, where the feature racing has been moved from Haydock to Carlisle due to a massive hole in the track at Haydock, which my horse fell in last week. Yeah, it is what it is, friendly soul. Very disappointing that was to see. But for now, I think I'm definitely going to leave this video here, I think. Take care, everybody. Thank you very much again for watching it. Take care of yourselves and your loved ones, everybody. Enjoy the upcoming weekend as best you can. I hope it is a good one for you. I hope you all enjoyed the week as well. Enjoy the rest of your Friday evening. I will bid you now a fond farewell. Take care, everybody, and I hope to be back at some point, hopefully, with another horse or two ahead of the French Derby. But for now, take care, everybody. Look after yourselves, and goodbye.